Hello, I'm Greg Cole, Chief Executive of LiveWell APS. As a physician, dentist, ophthalmologist, veterinarian, chiropractor, or any other elective and non-elective private practice professional, have you been asking, what is the COVID-19 science? Has the virus actually been defined? Have case and death numbers been dramatically inflated? Is there really a pandemic? Why is a diagnostic test that has so many holes that has never been properly validated been deployed? And how many obfuscations has the CDC planted to hide official secrets? Every private practice in America is at the fork in the road, and a decision has to be made quickly. Ignore or endorse what's going on and see your practice fail, probably within the next 12 to 18 months. Or join the fight to defend the scientific method and give your practice a fighting chance to survive. Right now, thousands of doctors all around the world are rising up to defend it and trying to put an end to the lockdown insanity. In Europe, they've inspired millions of people to take to the streets and protest. In the US, however, the people have been subdued. The COVID narrative seems to be in full control because so few doctors are willing to speak out, so the world is waiting for doctors in the US to wake up. Fortunately, we have an advantage they don't have in Europe and in other nations, our class action lawsuit system. You're the front line. It's a declared medical emergency, not a weather-related one. And unless you and your colleagues stand together, people will continue to be subdued and follow the insane COVID narrative. There's no legal doubt about the possibility of many class action lawsuits against those responsible for the COVID-19 lockdowns that have caused severe damage to every private practice and the American people as a whole. From politicians on the local, state, and national level to the players at the WHO, CDC, the media, equity funds, hospital and pharma corporations, and more. Civil action is our last recourse because every effort has been made to reason with the perpetrators to open up rational discussions and conversations before any further damage can be done. Unfortunately, all those efforts have failed and have led to even further draconian measures being taken by the political, corporate, financial, medical, and media operatives. But when your voice is heard, people will demand action and will no longer allow themselves to be looked upon as the dumb money. Investigations against the perpetrators of the lockdowns, that is, the individual officials responsible for them, are being launched. Those individuals should have every penny of their net worth turned over to those they harmed financially, and prison sentences for those where it is proven that the lockdowns and associated orders caused physical injuries, including death. We don't expect the proceeds from the perpetrators awarded to match the damage done. We're not kidding ourselves. But if the awards of punitive damages can strip them of everything they have, it could serve as a warning to any further tyrant who may think of doing lockdowns again, unless the efficacy has been proven beyond any shadow of a doubt. So, in reality, it's about getting U.S. citizens and your patients to wake up and shout loudly, no to the new normal. When good doctors stand together to defend the efficacy of the scientific method and the truth is laid out step by step, the people will come to their senses. They cut through their own malaise and the political and media indoctrination. This is even more vital now, since it was announced that President Trump has supposedly contracted COVID-19. After all, the lockdowns and the economic destruction have been visited on the population at large, so let the cases be heard and adjudicated. We're not naive about courts, judges, and juries either. But we know that within the system, there are keen minds and persons of goodwill. Persons who know that the law, as it was once enshrined by our founders, is a beacon and a breakthrough. Below this video on our webpage and in the description box below, you will see a link to a downloadable PDF document that has links to many articles and videos featuring the doctors and lawyers around the world who are leading this effort. I encourage you to read and view all of them, because your brave colleagues need your help and your support. Now, as for what we're doing, we're working with the leading firms bringing the initial class action lawsuits. We're helping them coordinate doctor plaintiff groups and raising the millions of dollars they need to fight the battle effectively. As Tom Rentz with the Rentz Law Firm, a firm that we're working closely with, and the attorney in Ohio who is bringing a class action lawsuit against Governor Mike DeWine, says, facts mean something. A declaration of emergency must undergo scrutiny to determine whether a clear and present danger justifies the declaration. Otherwise, a governor can destroy the Constitution, the rule of law, and human rights by falsely claiming danger when there is none. We would be back to the time of royal edict, with the king's army as rationale. In 2020, lunatic cultural proclivities, media propaganda, medical media collusion, political jockeying, Pretenses of science, scare tactics, rigging of facts, and profit motives are in the mix. They produce amnesia about basic principles. The law, when correctly applied, refreshes memory and sweeps away a blizzard of claims and counterclaims. The law comes to the point. So there are no excuses. You must join the fight. Click the Join the Plaintiff group link below and complete the required fields, and a participating attorney in your state will contact you soon to take your affidavit. But what's most important, your financial support is needed by making a donation through our GoFundMe page. Click the Make a Donation Now link below. In addition, you can also help us with a small monthly donation by becoming a member on our Patreon page, where you can view exclusive interviews and content on this subject and more. Support this vital effort to help us reach millions of private practitioners and furloughed doctors all across the nation, and help us raise the millions of dollars needed for the participating law firms to put an end to the lockdown insanity and associated executive orders. How much should you donate? Well, if you haven't figured it out yet, if this battle is lost, most of you will lose your practice. Even the Kaiser Family Foundation has reported that 60% of primary care practices are barely holding on by a thread. This is for all of the marbles. Our way of life is in jeopardy. And if our system collapses and everything changes to the new normal, where everyone is living in utter poverty, it will be because you chose to do nothing while you had the chance to stand up to demand justice, defend the scientific method, and help people that are working hard to end this madness. Our campaign is to speak with every private practitioner in the United States and to mobilize at least 1/3 of them into action to join the plaintiff groups in their state, and to donate up to 10% of last year's personal income. Any donation is appreciated, but I can't imagine any of you thinking this request is unreasonable, considering all that is at stake. Our initial effort is to raise $500,000 to hire staff and cover the costs associated with reaching every private practice in America, which will include a significant professional telemarketing campaign, and provide some needed financial support to the Renz Law Firm and others. Phase 2 will be to raise at least $50 million to support our national public awareness effort and help the hundreds of law firms that will be bringing class action lawsuits in their states. Each case could cost millions of dollars to bring, so it's all hands on deck in supporting this effort. We will also provide every donor with a full disclosure of how the money we raise is spent. You've all heard the politicians and the media pundits talking about the Great Reset, the new normal, resiliency, and other word salad terms. But what do these words really mean? They mean you will lose everything you have in the largest transfer of wealth in human history, and a societal conversion to what can only be called a humanitarian nightmare. Don't fall for it. Stand together. Let me ask you, if you lost your practice, what else would you lose? Your home, your cars, your family, investments? Understand this if you're going to get anything. They want it all. You can also get your patients involved too. They all have other doctors they see. Ask them to help spread the word. Did you know that both COVID case numbers and death numbers show evidence of data fraud and a violation of domestic terrorism laws? And according to law, significant fraud committed during a disaster is a felony with a penalty of up to 30 years in prison. The U.S. Department of Justice and every state attorney general should be interested in the possibility of COVID case and death number fraud. What do you think bank fraud, investment fraud, money laundering, crooked safety studies, and massive tax evasion are all about? The Department of Justice and attorneys generals make these cases all the time. They look for false data. For years, the political, financial, medical, pharma, and corporate classes and the media, including the medical media, have been committing data fraud and violating domestic terrorism laws. Your patients should donate to the cause. But what everyone needs to do is send a letter by registered mail to their state attorney general and the federal attorney general demanding that they cease their delinquency of duty and prosecute every single person and entity who is breaking the law for financial gain. We will be posting a template soon to our patient advocacy and private practice channels, Get Out From Under and Private Practitioner Success, which you can follow and subscribe to on social media. Your referrals are important. We're asking you to please provide us with at least 10 referrals and share this cause with those private practitioners you know, network, or maybe just over here talking about their business. Referrals are the foundation of success in this effort. Without your referrals, we will not achieve our mission. We thank you in advance for being an ambassador for this cause. It's very much appreciated. Now, if you're an attorney, you need to join your colleagues in bringing lawsuits. The lawyers that are leading the way want to help other law firms join the fight. We're coordinating this effort to get law firms in all 50 states and around the world involved. Click the Join the Lawyers link below and complete the fields. An attorney will contact you to discuss how you can join the fight and discuss some of the data and evidence they have and will share with you to help your efforts be effective. In addition, LiveWell APS is contacting all elective and non-elective medical, dental, chiropractic, ophthalmology, veterinarian, and all other types of private practitioners in your state to join the plaintiff group that you could be representing. I will leave you with this. Your Hippocratic Oath requires you to swear to uphold the scientific method and ethical standards, which remains of paramount significance today. These include the principles of medical confidentiality, non-malfeasance, and not playing God. You must remember that you remain a member of our society with special obligations to all of your fellow human beings, those sound of mind and body as well as the infirm. And if you don't violate this oath, you will enjoy life and art, respected while you live and remembered with affection thereafter. You must uphold your oath. And finally, let me tell you a little bit about Benjamin Rush, one of our founding fathers, a civic leader in Philadelphia, physician, politician, social reformer, humanitarian, educator, and founder of Dickinson College, who also attended the Continental Congress and is a signatory of the Declaration of Independence. He warned us long ago. Unless we put medical freedom into the Constitution, the time will come when medicine will organize itself into an undercover dictatorship. To restrict the art of healing to doctors and deny equal privileges to others will constitute the Bastille of medical science. All such are un-American and despotic.